Joining the program like he's going to do all season long, starting wide receiver for not only the Arizona Cardinals, the number 2 offense by points per game in the NFL right now, number 14, Michael Wilson, after fresh off a dub against Sean McVay's LA Rams. Michael, did you know going into that game the Cardinals had not beaten the LA Rams at home in 10 years?
I didn't know that. I knew we talked about the stats of McVay when he took over in 2017, how he hadn't beat him in a while. So I was familiar that we hadn't beat him, that they've been dominating us since McVay took over, but I didn't know that that was our first win in 10 years at home. That's pretty crazy.
It's insane. It was
Yeah.
long overdue. We were glad that you guys were the ones that got it done. You played a lot of football, and in your early career here, you guys have had some pretty dramatic moments, some big moments. But have you seen vibes that high at the Nest before Sunday like that?
No, I mean, honestly, I was driving home with my fiance, and I was like, I haven't had a win like that in my personal career since 2018 at Stanford. Excluding, we played Colgate my 5th year and we blew them out the park, but that's what a Power 5 program should do to a smaller school like that. But I haven't had a decisive win in 6 years. And then being able to do it in the NFL, like 70% of games are determined by one score. So to have a decisive and dominating win like that there's probably nothing better there's nothing that feels better than that. So it was awesome.
I think it's rather rich, Michael. Nationally, everybody's like, well, the Rams were banged up, they were injured. Well, their defense wasn't, and the Cardinals as an offense put up a damn near perfect outing, led by one quarterback, Kyler Murray. We just got done singing his praises, but you watch how he's operated early this year. Take us through Sunday and what you saw from your franchise quarterback being able to put up a perfect passer rating, his jersey's en route to Canton, that kind of performance against a Sean McVay-led team. A lot of people thought, hey, this is a team that's going to contend to win the NFC.
Yeah, it's it was really cool to see. Honestly, I didn't realize how good Kyler played until I actually watched the tape. Because when he's back there scrambling and stuff, I don't see what's happening because I'm running a route. And so when I watched the tape and I was able to see the things he was doing in the pocket and how on time he was, and the extension of the play, like you saw everything, every single asset and tangible thing you want to see in a quarterback, he put that on display to the best ability. And I think there was 3 plays that day that I think only him and probably 2 other quarterbacks in the entire world can make. So it was special to see, and I know that that's his standard of expectation of performance week to week to week to week. So I'm just excited to see what's going to happen this next week, because when he's playing like that, I don't think it's hard to beat us when he's playing at that high of a level.
I mean, it certainly made a statement and put the league on notice. Take us a little bit through what your job is in that situation, because when we talked to Kyler in the post-game press conference, we asked him about the Elijah Higgins touchdown, which was unbelievable, the way he evaded pressure, got his eyes downfield, and then found Higgy Bear in the back of the end zone. He said it was just, we needed to execute a scramble drill, and we did. What goes into that? How do you execute a scramble drill, especially with a guy like Kyler Murray who can extend plays like he does?
Yeah, a lot of it comes down, all of it really comes down to is feel and situational awareness, where you are on the field, and obviously knowing the play, knowing who's high, who's below you. We have rules built in, but with him, because he's able to go east and west, like I think that play was 8 seconds. And so you constantly have to stay alive. You have to know, like I have to know where Higgy Bear is going to go. I saw him taking the back line, so I was running along the front line. And maybe if Elijah wasn't open, then he would throw the ball to me. So you just have to constantly stay alive. I think sometimes it can get difficult because he's always ducking and moving. Like sometimes I don't know if he's sacked, I don't know if he's moving. Like there's been a few times this year and in practice where I've completely lost him because he's so good at just contorting his body and escaping out of sack situations. So you just got to have your head on a swivel. And I think Marv said it in his post-game press conference, but Kyler has an amazing feel for the game. And so like he understands and knows that football really isn't that hard. And he makes extremely hard things look easy. I think that's what great players do, is they make extremely hard, crazy plays, look like everyone can do them. But we all know, like, the plays that he's able to make, there's not too many people that can do it. But you just got to stay alive. That's what I'll say about that.
You came on our show last week, and, of course, the national narrative was, what's wrong with Marvin Harrison Jr., right? Where was he in the opener? And then that was very much put to bed, not only in this game, but very much the first quarter of this game, with Marv exploding for those 2 touchdowns, 4 grabs, I think, in total. Like, what was his mindset last week as it relates to, trying to block out this noise, and now you being one of the veterans in the room to communicate, hey, we got to take this one game at a time. We know what you can do from an ability standpoint, and how that translated to what was just an unbelievable performance by this offense all around.
Yeah, well, we talked about it last week, and I said that I think it's a tragedy that media reacts in such a negative way if a great player and a great prospect like Marvin has a game where maybe the production doesn't match his talent. It's a long season. 17-game season, guaranteed 17 games. Like, we should never react because someone has 1 catch in a game. Like, that's probably going to happen. Is it good of a year? I just looked at, because I knew this question was going to come up. I looked at Puka Nacua had the greatest rookie wide receiver season ever.
Yeah.
He had 2 games against the Cardinals where he had under 30 receiving yards, right? And if that was, say, Marvin's first game last week, he had under 30 receiving yards, which he did, everyone would have had the exact same reaction. Like, we know what Marvin is capable of, and he showed it in his time at Ohio State. You don't win the Blitnikoff. You don't get drafted 4th overall if you're not special and have special traits and are able to do things that 90% of receivers in the NFL can't do. And so I wasn't panicked at all. Our room wasn't panicked at all. It was his first game of his NFL career. He's only 22 years old. And I will say the reason why I know the building doesn't panic is because Marvin treated that game like, coming off four catches, 130 yards. He's going to treat his process and his preparation for the game the exact same way as he did last week, coming off a 1-catch game. Like, he doesn't get high or low, and you see that when he scores touchdowns. Like, he doesn't celebrate and go over the top, because he expects to perform at a high level day in and day out. And so, like I said, his process from this week is not going to change coming off a big game that he just had. He's going to catch 200 balls every day after practice. He's going to be one of the first guys in the facility, one of the last guys to leave. He's going to ask questions. He's going to be one of the first guys out to practice every time. He's going to ask all the right questions. He's going to take notes. He's going to be on the details. Like, the outcome doesn't affect the process for Marvin, good or bad. And so that's what I'm honestly most impressed about him, is for, as a guy that's as young as him, how mature he is and how much he really does love the game. So when he had 2 catches back-to-back for touchdowns, like, none of that surprises me, because I know the work that he puts in.
It sounds so much like Larry Fitzgerald, Mike.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he just there was one time, John, you can keep me straight on here. He spiked the football and everybody was like, "Whoa!" And it was in an intense moment in the game. Like, it was between two teams, but before that, it was just flip the ball to the official after he scored a touchdown. And he had 121 in his career. So it's very reminiscent of Larry Fitz, who played obviously at a high level for 17 seasons right here. Take us through, because you and Marv, that wide receiver room, you guys are starting to kind of carve out your own kind of legendary status for that process, for that work ethic. What's the routine, especially with the jugs machine? Because I've heard this a little bit. Inform our audience on how much work you guys are putting in, and if it's not just the jugs, what else are you guys doing?
Yeah, so I mean, the jugs is the grunt of the work. I think the ultimate job of a receiver it comes down to 2 things. It comes down to getting to the throwing spot on time and then making the catch. And I think we, the media, coaches, players, we all get caught up in how tall a receiver is, what's his hand size, how fast is he, how quick is he, how good of a route runner he is. But what all that boils down to is having all of those tangible things. It just makes it so you're able to catch the ball easier, because there's less, you can create more separation. like having a receiver that's fast means he can run by defenders, which is going to mean the catch probably isn't going to be contested as much. If you have a guy that can separate at the line of scrimmage, it just makes the throwing spot easier. It makes him, is able to get to the throwing spot on time faster. So I was having a conversation with my brother, and I said, me and Marv, we catch 200 balls every single day. So Monday we catch 200 balls. Tuesday we catch 200 balls. Wednesday we catch 200 balls every day. That's 1,600 balls right there between those 6 days of the week. Or sorry, 1,200 balls. My math's all messed up. Then you throw in all the balls we catch during practice, and that's probably another 100 balls between catching, reps, actual live reps in practice. Then you have to account for all the balls we throw on the side of practice. And I think, like a rough estimate, we probably catch 1,600 to 2,000 balls in a week in 6 days from Monday to Saturday, for the opportunity to catch. Like, I had two balls thrown my way. And so, like, when I have a drop or a play that I didn't make, like, I'm frustrated about it because I catch so many balls throughout the week. But at the end of the day, like, I don't drop anything during the week. So if I do have a drop in the game, it's nothing to me because I know I've done this so many times that it's not going to skew my confidence, because it's just a numbers game. Like, I'm just imagine by the end of the season, I would have caught whatever 2,000 is times 17. Like, what's that? 34,000 footballs, and I might have 100 catches in the season. I think last year I only had 38. So it's just like a lot to me. I think catching the football is a lot like shooting in basketball. It's just confidence, and the more you're able to get your hands on the ball and you're able to see yourself catching the football, it makes making plays like the catch Marvin had, his first touchdown catch, or the catch that I had, my first catch where I got hit. Like, those plays you're able to make those plays, and they're able to seem easy because you catch 1,600 balls throughout the week, 16 to 2,000 balls. You just got to keep doing that process, keep that routine up, because I think there's going to be a lot more footballs that come our way in these next 15 games.
Mike, that's an interesting point, because here on the show last Friday, Bo shared a story. So once upon a time, you may not know this, Kyler threw a ball to Bo at practice, and Bo fumbled the football and couldn't complete the catch to completion. Now, last Friday, he got to redeem himself, albeit this.
That's right.
No one saw this happen. So we can't, factually, determine if this is true or not. But Bo states that he caught a pass from Kyler in practice, walking from his car, just kind of hanging out. And so as a result, the Cardinals won this game. So I can attest that, maybe every week somebody should just randomly throw a football at Bo while he's at practice. And him catching that could be an indicator of whether or not the Cardinals, you guys are going to play well this week.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll throw you one tomorrow then.
I mean, after my drop, Mike, I just kept my same process as well. Just stayed focused. I didn't change a thing, similar to Marv as well. Like, I had the drop last season when my number was called last Friday, and this was post-practice. We were going to the locker room to talk with you great guys. And Kyler and I just had that nonverbal communication. I'm sure you have something similar with him. And I just knew he was gonna target me in the passing game, and I was ready. And I was able to bring it back. And I was able to haul it in. So I'm 1 for 2 as far as catches and targets with Kyler Murray.
That's good. We gotta keep that target to catch ratio improving every week.
You've got room to grow. I think we all do. Let's talk about this offense and where it can go, Mike, because Drew Petzing now is everywhere nationally. Everybody's talking about Drew, something we, I think, locally knew last year. This guy produced with Joshua Dobbs, and then when K1 came back, and then you had a great rookie season, and now you see him get accolades nationally. This guy could be a future NFL head coach. Like, what do you see from Drew day in and day out? Because one thing I especially love about JG is he empowers his coordinators, right? He's not here to call the defense. He's not here to call the offense. He's the CEO of this team. And then there's Drew Petzing, who seems like one of the most relatable dudes, and then goes out there and, I loved it. Carved up the LA Rams top to bottom for 40-plus points. You guys were 4 yards away from having 500 yards of total offense. Like, talk to me about your relationship with the second-year offensive coordinator for the Cards.
Yeah, I think Drew has an amazing understanding of football, and he's I think what's benefiting him is, and getting to know him, is he's sat in every single room. He's coached every single position group. He spent time with the Vikings, coaching their receivers, spent time in Cleveland as the quality control quarterbacks coach, now getting an opportunity to be with OC. He coached tight ends, he's coached offensive linemen. So he knows every single in and out of the game, both on the offense and defensive side. And I think that's why he's such a great play caller, is because he sat in every single room. And in addition to that, he has a great understanding of individual players' skill sets and where they fit in the scheme that he wants to create for the offense. And so I think even though we've only played 2 games, you've seen a great a great highlight of what every guy's role is going to be and how they fit in the system, with Greg Dortch, with Marv, with me, with Trey, with Elijah, with Kyler, with the offensive line. Like, I think it's no secret that Drew wants to run the football, and we want to run the football to win the game, want to run the football to end games, but we also want to create explosives with that, with the run action, play action, keeper game. But he's just an amazing guy. He's really relatable. He's understanding of players. He gives players confidence, but he also expects you to perform at a high level, because it is the NFL and it is a production-based business. But he's just he's a great guy, and I can't express how excited I am for the next, the next games that we have coming up, because I don't even think that we've reached our potential of, like, as explosive as we were, we probably left 3 or 4 touchdowns on the tape. And so I'm excited to see what it's going to continue to look like as we continue to go and grow and get more comfortable with each other.
It's crazy to think about, and what a test you guys have coming in. Come Sunday. Aaron Glenn coach defense. You've got Ben Johnson and that Lions offense, of course. Man Campbell on the sidelines with all that talent. Amon-Ra, their run game. Aiden Hutchinson. Anything in particular stand out to you about this Lions game on Sunday?
I mean, I think they're built very similarly to us. Like, they're an organization that's struggled, had some down years for a while, came in, we're revitalized with having a great head coach who preaches team first, similar systems, want to run the ball, have done a great job with building through the draft, adding guys who are team first guys. I just think we all been talking about in the building is that it's going to be a heavyweight bout, because our offensive and defensive identities they align, right? Yeah. So it's going to be a physical game, and I think it's going to come down to who wants it more. It's a physical brand of football versus a physical brand of football, and then now it's like, all right, just got to lace them up and let's go.
Let's get you in the end zone this weekend, my friend, and keep the good vibes going. We're big time sickos on this show. Yeah. We're talking playoffs already. And so we're excited about the progress of this team. I will try to holster my excitement of going overboard, but here's what I will say. There's an accountability piece happening in the chat right now. We will connect at a Chili's near you, Michael Wilson. We will make that happen for the betterment of the show.
Let's do it.
Mike, I think I saw there's a Thorns game on TV tomorrow night. Let's just go hit happy hour and watch the Thorns play some ball.
I would, but we got a big week. I got to prepare for the game. Right. So I'll just be I'll have that game on watch my tape. Yeah, he will understand. Monday or Tuesday, I'm game for it. Monday or Tuesday, we can get Chili's all day.
Let's do it. Starting wide receiver, Arizona Cardinals, number 14, part of the program, friend of the program, Michael Wilson. My friend, congrats in all seriousness on a banger of a victory. Keep it going, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys.
We all silly like the mayor.